We're back, Real Sense Now, with your host, Dawood Bedrosian. So we just missed a hurricane. Lucky us. And I couldn't have a better guest to come and comment on all of this than my old and dear friend, the attorney himself, the one who you see his beautiful face when you're driving on the 408 or the I-4. His billboards are all over the place. Welcome to the show, Imran.
Thanks, Dawood. Thank you for having me. What a great show.
So for those of you who cannot recognize his voice or cannot match the voice with the face, this is Imran Malik from Malik Law. You see his handsome face whenever you're driving on our beautiful Orlando highways. And I brought him in because, I mean, how appropriate. We missed a hurricane. A lot of people are dealing with everything from insurance claims to roofing issues. And, you know, I wanted to get the best advice about all things insurance so that our listeners, our audience, can benefit from your pearls of wisdom. So thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is a great show. It's a great resource. I've enjoyed listening to the information that you had to share with us too. Everybody learns something from your show.
Well, we have you here for one big concern that a lot of people have, especially in this year. You know, a lot of people have been surprised when they're getting their new premiums in the mail and they're getting a sticker shock. In some cases, more than a 60% increase. Can you comment or talk to us about why this is happening and what's causing this rise of all these insurance premiums and what can people do?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dawood. You know, over the past few years, there's been a lot of swirl, I would call it, in the insurance industry with certain insurance companies exiting, other insurance companies coming in. And really, you know, they've been placing a lot of pressure on the legislature, especially to try and get premium increases. But the hope really is that now in Florida, there have been some laws that have recently passed. And those laws were passed with the intention that that would help increase competition in the insurance space. So the hope really is that now over the next couple of years here, we should start seeing some insurance premium reductions, although, you know, that's something we'll have to wait and see if the insurance companies come through.
How does that make sense when many insurance companies and many insurers have petitioned the state last year to raise their rates with some of these increased rates that are in the double digits? It almost seems contradictory to what you're sharing. I mean, I would really like for what you're mentioning to actually be true because, I mean, if you go from paying, you know, $1,100 on a insurance premium to all of a sudden paying $2,200, that's insanity, man.
I absolutely agree. I mean, you know, insurance companies, you know, are in the business of making a profit, unfortunately, or fortunately, you know, depending on which way I guess you look at it. And, you know, at a certain point, I think the state needs to step in and they have to balance profits and need, you know, because when we look at the quarterly returns for these insurance industries, they're reporting record profits, even though they're still complaining about, you know, the costs of litigation and they're complaining about the costs of fraudulent claims. But in reality, they are making a lot of money. So I think the onus is on us as citizens to petition our elected officials and tell them that they need to rein in some of this insurance company rhetoric that's going around about why they need to increase their premiums, you know?
You know, there was a statement made by the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation that said Florida property market is facing significant challenges due to the increase in litigation and higher catastrophe claim losses due to hurricanes over the past several years. It seemed that, you know, the hurricanes in 2017, 2018, I think it was Irma and Michael, that really caused, you know, a big strain on the insurance side that obviously caused this to take place. So, I mean, what do you advise for when a buyer or homeowner is looking to buy insurance? I mean, what should they include? What should they exclude? What should they do?
Yeah, that's a great, I mean, I think those are all important questions. You know, just touching on the first part of your question, that was a lot of the rhetoric that was going around in Tallahassee just this past legislative session about attorney fees, you know, being too high. But, you know, as an attorney myself, especially as an attorney who sues insurance companies for a living, you know, that's a lot. There's a lot more to that than what they were saying. In reality, when you look at the amounts that the carriers were reimbursing versus the amount of premiums they were getting in, attorney fees was not as significant as they made it sound. So, when you hear those kinds of facts, let's call them alternative facts, as I call them, I think it's important for people to try and get an idea of the entire picture, because carriers were basically pushing to justify premium increases, and ultimately they got it. But that's a complete separate situation, and unfortunately, like I said, unless we push more up in Tallahassee for more consumer protections, this is going to keep on going. Now, the second part of your question is more real. This is a hurricane season. We're in hurricane season. We just missed one.
Yes.
Every year everybody kind of collectively holds their breath,
Yes.
hoping that we get through this unscathed.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important for you to make sure that you have homeowners insurance on your property. You want to make sure you have enough coverage
But
on
what
your
is enough?
homeowners insurance. It depends on the value of your property. Essentially, the value of your property is what the coverage amounts are based off of. So, you have to speak to your insurance agent. I would encourage people to speak to an insurance agent, let them know what kind of property they have, and then let the insurance agent select the appropriate insurance coverage for them, and shop it around. Don't just go with the first person that says.
Because there's a lot of
"Here's a
insurance companies that dropped, I think, over 50,000
Right.
Policies in Florida here.
Right.
And does that mean for those that are able to actually hang on to their policy, do they need to go out and buy additional hurricane insurance? Is it necessary?
Okay, so how it works is, in insurance policy is a contract, just like any other contract, okay? And it's renewable every year. So at the end of every year, certain insurance companies do reviews and they decide they're not going to reinsure this person for another year, and they drop them. But there are a lot of options still available here to us in Florida that people can call around. Of course, your insurance company of last resort, they call it, is an insurance company called Citizens Property Insurance Company.
It's expensive, though.
It is expensive because it's kind of quasi-backed by the state. But you will get insurance for your home. You will get insurance, and you should get insurance. And of course, you should get hurricane insurance, hurricane coverage, because of the fact that we are, we live in a place where a hurricane could come. But
Thankfully, we live inland, and by
Yes,
the time the hurricane
true.
comes on land, it slows down in strength. At least that's what
True.
we say to ourselves every
that's what
single
we
year.
say. But there's those things are serious. We have to take them serious, and we have to make sure we protect our homes. So
So, what do you recommend for homeowners to
Yeah.
protect their home? I mean, you deal
Yes.
with these kind of cases on a regular basis. So, what would your advice be for a homeowner to protect their home
Right.
as we're entering hurricane season?
I think it's always important to take one day out of the year to review your insurance policy, to see, make sure it's in effect, make sure that your coverages are okay, or call your insurance agent to verify that. The second most important thing I would tell you to do is to take pictures of your property, take pictures of things inside your home, your furniture, anything that's valuable.
Correct.
Because in the event that you need to file a claim and you've had damage to your home, the insurance company is going to ask you to justify what you're asking for, and you need to show them these are the things I owned. Here's what the damages were. It's all about sort of making sure you document everything correctly. So
Correct.
and
that's before and after
Yes.
every hurricane.
Mhm.
Probably, it seems excessive, but
Right.
definitely a good practice to follow.
I whenever there's a hurricane coming in, I go around my house and I take pictures of things that I haven't taken pictures of. I just keep a separate folder in my iPhone that says home pictures,
Like
and
it.
so I have it so that God forbid I need it, it's there and it's available.
And you can always reach out to a roofer to come out and do a roof inspection, because unfortunately, even when you go out to buy a home, for example,
Yes.
a regular inspection is great.
Yeah.
But the inspectors that are inspecting your home are not professional roofers.
Right.
They cannot see or may not have that much knowledge about
Yeah.
the condition of a roof. And it's really advisable to take pictures of that. That's what we actually had one of our guests that was on the show recently, and that's one of the things that he had mentioned as well too. Anoop Nai from Karma Roofing,
Yes.
may have heard him on the break. But regardless, it's free. Get
Yeah.
them to come out, take
Yeah.
some pictures because it'll definitely help you. Okay, so what advice do you give people that unfortunately the hurricane came and went, and the on the backside of that hurricane or on the other side of the hurricane they ended up with a bigger issue, which is a claim on their hands now.
Right.
So how do you?
So, basically, here's the issue. And this would apply for anything, okay? Not just hurricane claims. Say you have a pipe break in your home, or, say you have a fire in your home. Anything that would result in an insurance claim, you would essentially follow the same steps, right? You want to notify your insurance company that you've sustained damage to your home. You need to make sure that you protect your home from further damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you've had some issues with your roof and you've had water come in, have a roofer come out and put a tarp on the roof to make sure that your home doesn't get damaged further, okay? Or if your home has had a water break, you need to make sure to turn off the main so that, water doesn't keep on leaking and damage your home. You notify your insurance company, put them on notice, and then call somebody to come and help, a contractor, somebody to come and look at the damages to give you an estimate. I would strongly advise everybody to get their own estimate done, okay? The insurance company will come out and prepare an estimate, but I would always get my own estimate just to make sure that the insurance company is covering what they need to cover. And of course, God forbid, if your claim gets denied or you don't get paid in full,
Who are you gonna call?
you need to call me, because
And how do they get a hold of you?
that's when I start. That's when my
you gonna call?
investigation starts. I was going to say Ghostbusters.
Don't say Ghostbusters. Say Imran Malik.
But I guess you got to call Imran.
Okay, so how do you get a hold of you?
Great. You can contact me, 407-500-1000.
I like it. That's an easy number.
It's as
500,
easy
1000.
as I can make it.
Nice.
Or my website is imaliclaw.com. We offer free consultations, and we specialize in handling any kind of insurance related matters, whether it's home insurance, commercial insurance, personal injury, life insurance, anything insurance related, really, we take.
Man,
so
we have a lot of questions for you. Let me tell you.
ask away.
So
Anybody
listen,
should
you're
ask.
listening to Real Sense now. This is your host, Dawood Bedrosian. You know what to do. Tune in every Saturday, 6:60 a.m., 105.5. But more importantly, if you have a question, please call or text 321-339-1055. I know you're driving out there listening to the show and you have a really great question for Imran. I know I do. So tune in after the break and we're going to fire away some more questions and get some pearls of wisdom from the man himself.